title. If you would please go ahead and put that at the top of your notebook. What do we remember about rounding? It's been a while since we've done it. What do we remember? Mason, what do you remember about rounding? Okay. So want to add on to what Mason was talking about? Connor, you want to add a little bit more?
Well, rounding is where you're increasing your number, but at the beginning, the maximum number out.
What do you mean by that?
Like, it's like 24 minus like 90. You might just do 20 minus 90.
Okay. Julian, you want to add on to that?
We use a number line.
Okay, so we definitely use a number line. I'm writing, that means you are writing. Number line was our go-to strategy when we were doing rounding. Absolutely. What else do we remember about rounding? Avery, what do we remember?
That if there's two numbers, it depends. If there is a number, if there's a number below 5, it's gonna go to the least number, and if it's a number above 5, it's gonna go to the highest number.
Okay, so would 27 is above 5, would that go to a high number?
No. Wait. It can also be, it's 50. It has to be like the middle number.
Okay, so we know that the midway point is important. What are we doing when we're rounding? What is it that we're trying to find? Avery told us the midway point, that was kind of important. Julian told us we use the number line. What are we trying to find when we are rounding? Marley? The close to number. We're trying to get to a close to number. And Connor, I think this is what you were talking about. We're not going to use a unfriendly number. Our close to numbers are usually really friendly, like skip counts of 10. Those are easy for us. So when we are rounding, especially in 3rd grade, we typically only round to the nearest 10 or the nearest 100. Now there are other strategies for estimating where we can pick any friendly number, like 2, sure. But with rounding, we stick to the closest 10 or the closest 100. You can't just pick whatever friendly number for this kind of estimating. Does that make sense? Yeah. Archer, what's that friend? Kinda. I think I know what you guys are talking about. Let's explore that a little bit. So again, remember, this is a specific kind of estimating. Let's write that word estimating. Remember that time I said let's write the word estimating? We looked at that word estimating. We've heard that word. Estimating is when we find that close to number. And there's lots of ways to do that. Remember, Mason, I think you chose like the first number, front end estimation. Remember doing that? Yeah, that's one way we can estimate. We could just pick a friendly number that it's close to. So instead of adding 26, I might choose 25 because it's a little easier. That's fine. But rounding is a type of estimating, and it's very strict on the rules. Can you just pick 25 because you want to?
No.
No, rounding's got specific rules. It's got to be either a close 10 or a close 100. So next to estimating, we're going to write rounding to the nearest 10 or 100. We're almost done writing. I know this is a lot of writing at the front, but then we're going to start working with some numbers. So this will be pretty much the end of the writing part. All right, we're going to practice some rounding to 56, rounded to the nearest 10. On your notebook, let's go ahead and write the number 56. And then Julian already told us we need a number line. Remember, we have rules about drawing number lines. Pink line to pink line. Use the very straight blue lines that are already printed in your notebook. Please don't draw a crazy line. For this number line, it tells us we're rounding to the nearest 10. That means my number line is 10 numbers long. How long is my number line?
10.
How long is my number line? Raise your hand and tell me. How long is my number line, Paxton? How do you know it's 10 numbers long? How do you know it's 10 numbers long? Jordan?
Because it says we're rounding it to the nearest 10.
Yeah, we're rounding it to the nearest 10. It would tell you if it was a different number. It would say we're rounding to the nearest 100 if it wanted to be 100 numbers long. What two skip counts of 10? It's going to be around 56. What two skip counts of 10? It's going to be around 56. Remember?
50 and 40. I mean 60 and 40.
Well, 60 and 40 is the difference of 20. And remember, I want a number line of 10. Mason, you got it?
60 and 50.
60 and 50. If I start at 50 and I count up to 60, will I pass 56?
No.
Yes. Yes, I will. Another trick, Rogan, no thank you. Another trick is to look, where are my 10s in this number?
5.
But that's really 50. That's going to give us a hint. Oh yeah, we should probably start at 50. And then I need a number line that's 10 numbers long, which means I'm ending at
60.
60. Avery told us we needed a midway point. What's the middle of 50 to 60? What would be that middle? Marley? 55. That means there's 5 numbers on this side, and there's 5 numbers on that side. It's exactly in the middle. Now we've got all the numbers ready so that we can figure out where 56 goes. Where does 56 go? Julian, where does 56 go?
Next to 55.
On what side? On this side or this side?
The right side.
This side?
Yeah.
Yep. 56 is probably going to go pretty close to 55, but still going towards 60. Now we need to figure out which endpoint is closer. Which endpoint is closer? We know where 56 is. We can see it. Toby, which endpoint is closer? 60. Draw a line. Or a hop. 56 rounds to 60. So far, so good?
Yeah.
Let's try another one. This time,
What?
784 rounded to the nearest 10.
Oh.
Go ahead and write that number.
Oh.
785. We're going to write that number. And we're going to draw our number line. Pink line to pink line. How many numbers long should my number line be? Raise your hand to tell me. How long should my number line be? How many numbers? Brogan?
about
Look at your problem, it tells you. Look at your problem, it tells you. Lydia?
10?
10. Why is it only 10 numbers long?
Because we're rounding to the nearest 10.
We're rounding to the nearest 10. Now this is where it can get a little tricky. This is where it can get a little tricky because now we need our endpoint. What two skip counts of 10 are going to go around 784? Remember that trick we looked at last time? Let's look at what's in the tens place. That might help you. Now you got it? What you got?
700, 800.
Not 700 and 800. Nope. Look at those 10 places. Paxton?
780, 790.
780. You see where that came from?
790.
And then 10 more. 790. We need a middle. What's our midway point? Callie?
785.
785. Where would 784 go? Where would 784 go? Archer?
On the left side.
Which means 784 rounds to
780.
780. Much closer. So far, so good?
Yes.
Another one.
Yay.
Oh,
yeah.
Little trickier. What is 382 rounded to the nearest 100? We still need to write the number. 382. We still need a number line. How many numbers are on this number line? Tell me. Ava,
100.
how do you know it's 100?
Because it says in the equation.
Yeah, it tells us in our question. We're going to the nearest 100. Now, Eva, am I really going to write all 100 numbers on that number line?
Why would you know?
No, but I know they're there. Right? I don't have to write them to know that they're there. Right?
They're just there because you can see by the question.
They're just there. Now, we're rounding to the nearest 100. Raise your hand and tell me what digit is in the hundreds place. What digit is in the hundreds place? Avery? 3. The 3 digit is in the hundreds place. That should help you when we are making our endpoint. What's going to be the endpoint? Mason?
400 and 300.
400 and 300. Mason took that 300 right here and said, okay, that's my starting spot. And then because we have 100 numbers, Connor, you're with me. Now it gets a little bit trickier. We still need a midway point. What is the midway point? Remember, we have a bigger number line. That can be a little trickier. I got 100 numbers on my number line now. Paxton? 350. How did you figure that out, Paxton?
Because between the 100 and the 10 is the midway point.
The 10? We just went 350.
100
Okay. So I'm going to add on to Paxton. How does he know that 350 is the midway point?
Because we're counting by the nearest 100.
Okay, so how did you know 350 was the middle?
Because that's the middle of 100.
That is. I want to know how you know. Prove it to me. It's kind of tricky. You just kind of know it. But how do you know it? Lydia?
Because it's the same number on each side now.
It's the same number of numbers on each side. How many numbers are over here? 50. How many numbers are over here?
50.
So that's the middle. Just like we were doing our number balances earlier, it's balanced. We have 50 on each side. Where's 382 going to go? Raise your hand and tell me. Where's 382 go? Emma, where does 382 go?
On the right side.
Close to 350, close to 400.
Close to 400.
Like right here? No? Like right here? It's probably going to be closer to the middle. Maybe a little closer to 400. Now the easy peasy part. What does it round to? What does it round to? Which endpoint is closer? This is the easy part. Mason?
400.
400. Hello. Easy peasy.
400.
382 rounds to 400.
Easy peasy.
Turn to the next blank page. Because I think you guys have mastered using a number line. So far, you guys got that. But this is a tricky question that I have seen on iReady, and I have seen on the EOG, and I want to make sure we have time to think about it. I want you to write that question down on the next blank page. I'm going to give you time to write it, because I know you guys know how to round, but this can be a tricky one to think about. So go ahead and write it down on the next blank page. That'll be your new title. It says, when rounding to the nearest 10, what numbers round to 400? We're going to talk about it in a second. Just get it written down. Just the whole question. Yep, this is a tricky question that you might see on your phone. You're welcome. And I want to make sure you know how to solve it and how to think about it. What do you need? Alright, so I want you to circle the word round. Because this question is easier if we remember what we're doing when we round. The whole point of rounding is to get close to a number. Right? The number 8 is pretty close to 10. It's a close to number. Close to. This question is saying, okay, you're rounding. What numbers would round to 400? What's a close to number to 400? That if I put it on a number line, you would say, you know what? That rounds to 400. I'm going to write a number line. And I'm going to stick 400 right in the middle. If I'm writing, you are writing. What would be a number on that number line that's really close to 400 that would definitely round to 400? Mason?
401.
401 would absolutely round to 400. Write that one down. And I'm going to draw my little hop. That's a number that rounds to 400. Can you think of any other ones? Callie?
402.
402.
Oh, now we're just getting started.
That goes to 400. Any other numbers? Julia?
403.
403. That's super close.
Wait.
So all of these numbers would round to 400 if I was rounding to the nearest.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right.
How about 4?
Any other ones? Do you think of any other ones? Rogan?
404.
404. That's a close to number. That would definitely round to 400. Anything else? Jordan?
399.
399. That's right here. Is that really close to 400?
Yeah.
Yeah, that definitely will go to 400. Look how close it is. Can you think of anything else? Owen?
395.
395. Remember that rule. Remember when we had that rule of if it's right in the middle, it'll round up. If 395 is right in the middle right here, it would definitely round to 400. What about 405? That would be right in the middle. Would that round to 400? No. If it was right in the middle, it would round up to 400.
Yeah.
I still have some other numbers that are going to go to 400. Can you think of them? Samaya? 398. That's super close. That goes to 400. Can you think of any others? Avery?
395.
We got 395.
Oh, we're good. 396.
396.
397.
One more. We're missing one more. Mason? 397. So let's read this question one more time to make sure we understand what it's saying. If I'm rounding to the nearest tenth, what numbers round to 400? 395 would go to 400. 396 goes to 400. 397 goes to 400. 398 goes to 400. 399 goes to 400. Would 400 go to 400?
Yes.
401.
Yes.
400. 402.
Yes.
400. 403.
Yes.
400. 404.
Yes.
405?
No.
No, because that would go up. Tricky question, but is it actually that tricky?
No.
All right, let's try one more. You do not need to write the whole question down, but now we're going to look at the number 30. What numbers would round to 30? You do not need to write the whole question. We're just going to do a number line. Put 30 in the middle. And we need to think of some numbers that would round to 30. I'm going to give you some seconds to see if you can come up with them. So see if you can get them on your number line, and then we'll share. Do you have a question?
No, I already have.
Okay, so write them on your number line, and then we'll share. All right, so we just figured out that 35 will not go to 30.
It'll go to 40.
It'll go to 40. What were some numbers we got? Raise your hand and tell me. We're going to go quick because I know there's a lot of them. What were some numbers we got? Math? 31, absolutely. Make sure you got it down. Emma?
25.
25, tricky. 25 will, because it's that middle going up. Maya? 29, beautiful, absolutely. Mason? 32, absolutely. Avery? 34, tricky, yeah. Ava? 33, definitely. Cole?
27.
27, absolutely. Rogan?
28.
28, absolutely. I still have one. Art?
26.
26, absolutely. Wrong answers only. Wrong answers only.
38.
Wrong answers only. Jordan?
35.
35, definitely not going on there. Wrong answers only. Paxton? 1,000, definitely not going on there. Addison?
Million.
Million, definitely not going on there. Mavericks?
Infinity.
Infinity, definitely not going on there. Art?
50 trillion.
50 trillion, definitely not going on there. Mason? Quintillion, definitely not going on there. Connor, sorry.
1,2,500.
1,002,500, definitely not going on there. Callie?
0.
0, definitely not going on there.